You can dual wield them as well. Hello and welcome to a very special unboxing. Today I will be unboxing the Nemesis Warbringer Titan from ForgeWorld. One of these will cost you £819 just for the body. This is my second one and I'm recording this in March of 2022. So that gives you an idea of when I picked this up. There's quite a few videos on the channel now and again that I release that were recorded many months ago, sometimes years ago. And there's also a lot of models that I just don't share on the channel for a number of reasons. But this is one such day where I will share this model. I purchased one of these on release. I got it on release day in December of 2018. So this is probably about 4 years later since I purchased one of these Titans. I had a lot of fun building it. It was one of the most enjoyable Titans out there. It's closer in size to the Warlord Titan than the Reaver, so maybe that will make your mind up, I guess, because the price is also closer to a Warlord. But if you look at the Reaver weapons that it's equipped with and the big carapace weapon, then you probably get the idea that it's closer to a Reaver, but it's not. It's a big Titan. It's got the 3 power cores and all the rest of it. I picked up the one with the Volcano cannon. They did release the Volcano cannon separately, I think during 2019, I want to say, for a very brief amount of time. We're talking maybe a month, maybe a couple months, and then all of a sudden, for a very brief amount of time, I think probably only a couple of weeks or so, and then they just cut that piece out and sold the model, with it, and that was the only way you can get it, unless you take a trip, which is difficult to do if you live outside of the UK, to the Warhammer world, and then you can buy the carapace weapons separately, but they aren't cheap. They're about £200 odd, and I remember when I first picked up the Quake cannon, which was available separately, it was about £100 something, and when that was first released 4 years ago. Anyway, I do go on a fair bit, but that is because I am very knowledgeable on all things Titans. So let's unbox it. It comes in one of these big cardboard boxes, because there are not one but 2 Titan boxes. The only other models that come in 2 Titan boxes is a Adeptus Astartes Stormbird and the Warlord Titan. Everything else usually comes in 1 if it's sort of Titan sized. Thunderhawk comes in 1, Warhound, Reaver, they both come in 1. The Manta I think comes in a couple, and also a big box like this to fit the wings in. So here we go. We've got the Mars Alpha Nemesis Volcano cannon, and it's a little bit odd because this is ripped. I wonder if this has already been looked at, but we will unbox that. We will unbox that in a separate video, because today is all about the body of the Nemesis Titan, not the Volcano. Volcano will be a separate video. Plenty of airbags. Plenty of airbags. It's a big box here. Just breaks down. It just breaks down into that box, and then in here there will be 2 Titan sized boxes. So let's So it says here, Warbringer Nemesis Titan body. I already have another head and I have plenty of Reaver weapons, so it just seemed about right to get a second one. And that's always been my plan, to pick up 2 Warbringers. I won't go into details in terms of how many other Titans my plan is, but it's definitely it has definitely been always 2. Okay, let us continue with the unboxing of the Nemesis Warbringer Titan. So we'll start off with this Titan box right here. So in here we have, half of the kit. We're going to unbag these and then we're going to look into the second box. So quite a straightforward box, this one. You've also got the amount numbered. I think everybody would like to see this. So this was first built, kind of made in January the 27th of this year, 2022. My number for this one is 340. So I can't remember what my other one was, but no doubt it'll be in the unboxing. It'll be very interesting if it's like 345 or something. And then this is the instruction guide. Let's have a flick through this before we look at the parts. So you've got right here all of the parts. Now don't be sort of fooled. There's not 111 parts, there's just 111 like unique parts. Some of them there are duplicates, like there's 2 anvilus autocannons, there's 4 knee piston rods, there's 8 toe piston rods right there. But that's the kind of exploded view of the legs, the hips and the top part of the body. If we go through, read this first, posing the Warbringer Nemeis Titan, it explains there, it's a good idea to plan how you want the Titan posed before beginning construction. I mean, personally, I would clean up every single part you can, so that the only thing left to do is to put it together. And I would experiment with dry fitting, with blue tack as well, just having a play around how you want it to go, because there's nothing worse than getting the legs in the position you like, gluing them with, epoxy resin, whatever, and then finding out the armor plates don't join, or it's wobbly, or it's not level. You get a bit of leeway with this kit compared to the Warlord Titan because it's got a dome cap on the hips, which means there's just one nipple, so you get a bit of kind of movement of the torso and the waist and the chest, the upper body really, onto this kind of domed amount. With the Warlord, you don't get that freedom at all. It just slots on and that's it. So I much prefer the kind of join for the hips here on the Nemesis than the Warlord, but I prefer the knees and the legs of the Warlord. I just think they're a bit easier to go with. I mean, this is a bit of a nightmare. Don't glue that armor panel on anyway. I'd paint it first and then glue it on. But this is a bit of a nightmare to sort of put together, this knee area. Everything else is fine. Hips are all right. And like I say, the connector is fine. This kind of torso area and the front is very straightforward to put together. That's fine. So are these sub-assembly parts, and like I say, once you're happy with the pose, then you can glue it on. I don't think I have glued mine on though. I think mine is, I haven't glued this bit, the stabilizer assembly. I've glued the stabilizer assembly to the actual body, the torso, but not to the hips, so it's easier to transport and store. You don't have any issues with the tops. I wouldn't glue these armor panels on until you've properly painted them, and then again, it's up to you whether you want to glue these guys on the top or not. You can leave them off, but I would paint them before I'd even glue the top, and then it gives you a little bit of an advert for the other items, such as the head, quake cannon and the volcano cannon. Unfortunately, you can't get the quake cannon and the volcano cannon separately. You used to be able to when this first came out, but now you can only get it with the actual kits. So we've got some more parts here as well. That's the stabilizer, I think. Let's just move this box out of the way, and we'll move these out of the way too. So we'll look at the big parts in this bag, in this box first. So one of the largest parts is this top catwalk, I guess. You know, it's got some nice detailing. You know, it's not just like squares, it's actually you know, rounded in the corners, which is nice. You've got the rivets, you've got a little bit of detail there with some cabling, but nice solid part. You know, you will need to take this bit out. This is all flash, but this isn't, and you need to carefully remove these off the gate. So that's the top weapons platform or catwalk. You've got this, which is the torso assembly stabilizer connecting point. Like I say, you've got a bit of movement there, because it's on a dome, so you can kind of pose the torso a little bit. I'd just be very, you know, wary of too much of an extreme pose with this, because the torso on this model is very heavy. I mean, the torso for the Warlord Titan is also heavy, but you know, with the big cannon and things you're going for, and the pose of that might affect you know, stability. So that's that piece. Then you've got, I think, the armor paneling on the front. So you should have two opposite ones. It's a shame they don't do any other different kind of styling. Would have been cool, but these look quite nice, decent parts. Plenty of detail on here, which of course it will look fantastic in my black and gold colour scheme. You've got L for left clearly, and R for right, just in case you know, you get them mixed up somehow. I don't know, but there's plenty of pictures out there. So that's the armour panelling. For the top, we're getting one of these sides. Well, I think the sides, the actual neck assembly, which will just go on there, something like that. Quite a small interior really, but following that, I would put magnets in there if you can. I think I also put magnets in those holes too. I don't know why, I just did, just to, you know, give it a bit more stability, but plenty of detail there, lots of rivets and things. And then this is the reverse with the reverse doorway. Again, put magnets in all of those, because what you're attaching there is going to be quite heavy. So I'd take them up on those. You can measure them. I'd get magnets that are like 1 millimeter smaller than the holes, because nothing worse than too much of a tight fit. But lovely detail in there, lots of rivets again, all the way around. They are duplicated, those sides. And then the final piece here is just the hip itself, and the joints for the hips. Yeah, so that's a very nice mould too. So they're all the parts that are in these bubble wrap separates. Now for the bags, there's only 2 bags in this box, not as many as the next one, I don't think. And this just has more armour panelling. So you've got the kind of crotch armour panelling, you've got the top of the neck. I think that's the top, it might be the bottom though. That's definitely the top there of the armour panelling. And then you've got these 2 side panelling points as well as this. I'm looking for another piece though. I think there must be another piece. This is for the arm. Oh, there it is. Apologies. Yeah, I overlooked that one. But yeah, there you go. That's all the armour pieces. And then in this bag, you've got the hips themselves and the feet. So these are the feet. They're pretty small in the grand scheme of things. Similar size to like the Reaver Titan. There's a lot of detail there with the rivets and things. You shouldn't have any issue with these, but yeah, as you can see, quite a small contact point, and then the toes aren't the biggest either for this model, but there you go, that's the feet. You've got these shoulder weapon mounts, which I would suggest you sort of glue the shoulder or the arm in and then magnetize the actual arm rather than magnetize in there, but it's just what I do. I did put a magnet in there for the Anvilus autocannons, and they sit on top, which is quite cool. You got this top armor panel, very chunky, and you got the hips. That's fantastic. These pieces very, very, very thick. There's a horrible mold line there though. I don't even know if that's salvageable, but you know, and there's a little bit of one there. and on the other side, well, on the other side of this one at least. So yeah, look at that mould line all the way down, and then there, and then there. I mean, it's salvageable, I can deal with that, but yeah, just thought I'd bring your attention to that. And that is that box. Now we're on to the second box, you know, which you're going to get in the kit. Remember, you don't get a head, you don't get any weapons. Remember, you don't get the head or the arm weapons, but you do get the top weapon, which I've got a separate unboxing for, because it's quite a big beefy kit, that one. So this will have plenty of bags in. I don't think it's got any kind of free parts like the other box did, and you've even got a clamshell with this one too. So let's just have a look at the clamshell first of all while we're here. Let's look at these small parts. I even have a knife on me today. Don't think I do. It's quite rare really, but let's just put that like so. Have a little look. So yes, you're getting some of the bolt cannon assemblies, attachment points. So the bolt cannons just fit into there, and then you can magnetize them if you wish, but the assembly is quite good that you don't need to, and you can just rotate them. I think this is part of the attachments there. You get 2 bolt cannons on the front and 1 bolt cannon on the tail, really, which is similar to the Warlord. The Warlord has 2 bolt cannons at the front, but the Warlord has 2 twin link las cannons near its rear door, but it doesn't have like a tail weapon. Bit odd. I think the Lucius pattern might have a tail weapon, but then you've got these vents. You've got some cabling. You've got the actual miniatures. So you do get 2 miniatures. With this, you get this servitor type Titan tech priest type thing, and he's got his keyboard and whatever that is, cogitator maybe. But you get him. He's all right to build, put together. I would find a base if you've got a base anywhere and put him on a base. You've got the cane and the hand, and you've got these monoculars for this dude, which I think is the Princeps. I'd want to say that'd be quite cool if he was the Princeps. And then you've got, yeah, the other arms for the Titan Tech Priest, I think, and some more. And this time he's got some binoculars. And then you've got these couplings, and then I think armor paneling supports. So that is those. So that's in your clamshell. Then in here, you've only got a few parts, which are the exhaust vents and the kind of void shield generators. You've got a nice heat sink underneath there. No slippage, which is lovely. Normally you get slippage on those. So that's fantastic. And I would put magnets in there, in those holes, and then you can take your void shields off as and when they go down. Bit of clean up there to do. But yeah, they're all right. And then you've got these exhaust vents, big exhaust vents for the power plants. They seem bigger than the Reaver Titan. So yeah, they're opposite, which is great news. A bit of clean up there and there. Some vents. Yeah, nice. No slippage in the exhaust vents there, so that's great. As I say, this is quite a big kit, you know, at least as big a kit as a Warlord Titan. So, you know, don't think of this one as a Reaver. It's a bit bigger than a Reaver. It's closer in size to a Warlord than a Reaver. So, you know, don't think, oh, you know, I can't get a Warlord, or, you know, Warlord's a little bit out of my price range, but this one is affordable. Am I losing out? Well, you know, you're getting a massive weapon on the top, and you're getting anti-air. You're getting, I'd say, technically more. You're getting a similar number of point defense weapons, but what you're also getting and you're getting more void shields and bed toughness and all the rest of it. But where it loses out a little bit to a warlord is it doesn't have 2 warlord class weapons, arm weapons. It has the Reaver weapons. So, you know, they're still very, very powerful, don't get me wrong. But anyway, here's the next bag with some armor paneling. You've got all of the toes for the feet. They really complement the feet because, as I say, the feet don't have a big surface area, but when you couple them with these toes, it's quite great. And nice amount of posability in these with all the toe pistons. So literally the leg armor, couple of these which go near the void shield generators, and then some of the, I think these are the kneecap armors. These are the knee armor that go on the front of it. So there you go, toes and leg armor. And then you've got another big bag full of some armor paneling. The hips themselves, these are the hips. So they're ribbed for your pleasure. You can dual wield them as well. It's very, very, very efficient. You've even got these grips to keep them in place. Yeah, so they're the hips. You've got these pistons that go in the legs. You've got these knee joints to pose the knees. You've got these, I think these are the knee armor actually. I said the other armor was the knee armor, but it's not. This is the kind of hip assembly. Well, this is kind of like the torso assembly with the nipple. So you know, this will go on to the hips in one way, but then the torso itself, there's a bit of posability. I mean, you could cut the nipple off and completely ignore the nipple, and then have a more extreme pose. But again, like I say, be extremely careful because, you know, the weight of that torso, you know, is going to affect it. The nipple that is there for guidance of getting a good balance, really, for the model. You've got these two, which are the front paneling where the armor pieces go onto at the top of the catwalk or the platform. You've got these hip ring joints, very nice. You put them in loose and then you glue them in later once you can then glue the pistons in. You've got shins. You've got the lower leg pieces, and then that's where the knee assembly goes in. It goes in, you know, well, kind of like that way. It's a bit of a pain. I prefer the Warlord Titan's legs, but you know, this is what we've got for this Warbringer, and then the other knee piston section. You've got this bag right here, which has a number of small items in, I think. So you've got the Anvilus autocannons, which is your anti-air defense, just in case your enemy has brought some flyers to deal with your Titans, which is a bit mean. So then you just bring your Tau Manta, right? Yeah, the Anvilus autocannons, a bit bent, but I had this issue with my army that's very, very bent. Wow, absolutely incredible. Look how bent. They're all bent, but this some are more bent than others. But yeah, that's easily changed with some heat treatment. I always use a hairdryer where I can. You've got this which goes on the top platform. You've got these big tubes, so the weapon tubes, tubing. You've got these big power cables. You've got the kind of weapon assemblies here, sort of go in like that. They go in a different way than you'd expect, and so they go up into the shoulder, and then you put a magnet in there, and then you can magnetize the weapons. I've magnetized mine the same as the Reaver, so I can just swap these Warbringer weapons with the Reaver. You've got these stabilizers. I think these are the gyro stabilizers that they use. They'll go on the torso, they'll go on the hip assembly. You've got these kind of railings that go on the top platform. They're an absolute pain to clean up and take all that flash out. You have to do that for all of them, and you have to be really careful that you don't just, you know, slice off the detail. This is the neck So this is where the neck sort of joins on. You don't have to put that many magnets in if you don't want to, you know, because let's face it, that's going to be 8 magnets you're going to use. Got some more power cabling. You've got this, which is at the reverse. You know, this is at the reverse of the torso where the doorway is to enter the Titan. So I guess this just unfolds and then, you know, some kind of ramp or ladder comes out of that. And then you've got this bag right here, which has smaller like toe armor paneling. You've got some pistons, you've got the void shield generators, which are the same size as the Warlord void shields. This Nemesis has the 6 void shields. I think the Warlord has 8, I want to say. You've got these connectors for the bolt cannons. Speaking of which, here are the bolt cannons. You get 3. You've got plenty of pistons, toe pistons, hip pistons, armor paneling for the toes, tubing for the pistons, cabling as well for the legs, and these, bit of pipe work. That's about it for this one. These are the attachments for the Anvilus autocannons. And then the final bag right here just has some of the sort of lower leg armor paneling and supports. So these, they are all kind of, they only go one way. Like you've got out, in, here, you've got rear, L, front, L. So be really careful when putting this together not to mix and match, or to put the pistons on and then not be able to see which of these go where, because it's a bit of a nightmare. They only go specific places, and if you don't put them in the right places, it's going to look very odd. These are the turret holders for the Anvilus autocannons, and then this is the rear kind of heatsink or whatever generator type, or generator housing, I guess, for the rear back of the Titan. And here's some more lower leg armor. So that's the final bag. And that is my entire unboxing of the Nemesis Warbringer Titan. I did unbox it 4 years ago in 2018 in December, very cold morning, and I hope you enjoyed that unboxing when I did that on its release day. I'm very happy that I've got a second one, of course. I've got many other things that I don't show on the channel or even on the Discord, so I hope you kind of look forward to all of the other videos coming up. What do you guys think of the Nemesis Warbringer Titan? Please do put your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. It'd be great to hear from you today. Thank you for watching. The Emperor protects.